Today's video is inspired by a video that Maya made about The Lord of the Rings and how The Lord of the Rings inspired her to become a filmmaker and inspired her interest in film and video. I'm going to talk in a similar way about what inspired my interest in television and online video to some extent. In middle school, I jumped from obsession to obsession to obsession. I really loved manga because that's what my friends were into, and then I started reading these books about Mary Jane from Spider-Man. Somehow I got totally hooked on a show called CSI, Crime Scene Investigation. To be honest, I'm not really sure how this happened. Most of the television that I had watched beside that was reality shows like Survivor and American Idol, but I was super invested in CSI. When I first started watching the show, even I thought it was going to be a phase. I figured that the mysteries were intriguing and the style of video with the like sped up bits and like the science like zoom ins and things like that, I thought it was really compelling, and I figured that I would like CSI for a year or so and then I would move on to something else. The reality of it is that my interest in CSI led me to start watching House and NCIS and Bones and The West Wing. And I started watching Cold Case and JAG and Criminal Minds and Law and Order Criminal Intent. Like, I just started watching all of the procedural dramas and I was completely obsessed with them. So when people started asking me in high school, what do you want to be when you grow up? And what are you interested in? Like, what kind of specialty courses do you want to be taking? I turned to my favorite TV shows and said, maybe I'm interested in these because I want to become a forensic scientist, because I want to be a criminal investigator or a politician. But after like figuring out that I didn't want to do those things, I was still completely at a loss for what did interest me and what did drive me to continue watching these TV shows. Eventually, I figured out that it wasn't really the mystery or the like specific topic of one of these shows that really interested me. It was the narrative and the characters that really drew me to these stories. I wasn't invested in CSI because I wanted to be a forensic scientist. I was invested in CSI because I really wanted Grissom and Sarah to get together. I wasn't invested in The West Wing because I was interested in politics. I was invested in The West Wing because Josh and Jonna are my OTP. So instead of learning how to do the things that my favorite characters were doing in these TV shows, I started to learn how to make the TV shows. I went to school for television writing and producing. Talked about this in another video, but this is just where the story leads. I mean, would I have figured out my interest in narrative and story with a different TV show? Probably, but because it just happened to be CSI, I can pretty sincerely say CSI changed my life. That sounds really overdramatic and like teenager-ish in a lot of ways, because it is, but it also happens to be true, and I'm not really ashamed of that. It's just the way it turned out. I'd be interested in hearing from you guys what inspired you to do the thing that you are now doing. whether that be like YouTube videos or a career or something else entirely. Was there a piece of fiction or a story that you heard that really affected you and really made you realize what you wanted to be doing? I would love to hear that story down in the comments below or in a video response. Totally up to you. As always, I hope you get a chance to do something that you love today. I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.